The Russian tank journey began just after World War I, inspired largely by the advances other countries had made in armored warfare. But the Russian approach was always a bit unique. Early tank projects were underfunded and hampered by resource limitations. However, the Soviet Union invested heavily in developing armored vehicles, believing them to be vital for modern warfare. The medium tank, specifically, became a focus as the Soviet military sought a vehicle that could balance speed and power without the weight and bulk of heavy tanks or the vulnerability of lighter models. One of the first Soviet medium tanks to enter production was the T-28, a three-turreted design that came into service in the 1930s. This tank featured a main gun capable of engaging enemy armor and secondary turrets for dealing with infantry. While impressive at the time, the T-28 was somewhat under-armored and had reliability issues. It served as a foundation for future designs, but was quickly overshadowed as tank warfare evolved. Then came the T-34, which remains one of the most famous tanks in history. Introduced in 1940, the T-34 was a revolutionary design that truly put Soviet tank production on the map. It combined sloped armor, which provided superior protection, a powerful 76mm gun, and a reliable engine. Its mobility was a major asset, and the T-34 quickly became a legend on the Eastern Front during World War II. German forces were stunned by the T-34's resilience and adaptability. It was able to operate in various terrains and survive hits that would disable most other tanks of the era. Even when Germany introduced more advanced armor, the T-34 continued to be a thorn in their side, forcing Germany to develop heavier tanks to counter it. The T-34 went through several iterations, eventually being upgraded with an 85mm gun in the T-34-85 model. This version improved its firepower significantly, allowing it to go toe-to-toe with later German tanks like the Panther and Tiger. The T-34-85 solidified the tank's role in the Soviet strategy, emphasizing mass production and efficiency to overwhelm enemy forces. Following World War II, the T-34 was due for a replacement, and the T-54 was developed as its successor. The T-54 and later the T-55 were designed with lessons from World War II in mind. These tanks featured improved armor, a more powerful 100mm gun, and better overall reliability. The T-55 became one of the most widely produced tanks in history and was used by armies worldwide, setting a global standard for medium tanks. These tanks also served as the backbone of Soviet and Allied forces during the Cold War, representing Soviet military power and influence. The T-55 was an export success, used in conflicts across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Its simple, robust design made it ideal for mass production and easy to maintain in various environments, from deserts to jungles. The T-62 emerged in the 1960s as a response to NATO's advancements in tank technology. This medium tank was the first to be equipped with a smoothbore gun, the 150mm U-5TS, giving it a significant edge in firepower. While still classified as a medium tank, the T-62's weight and firepower began blurring the line between medium and heavy tanks. The T-62 was an improvement in terms of firepower and armor, but it had its challenges, including a lower rate of fire and maneuverability limitations compared to its predecessors. Nevertheless, it played a critical role during the Cold War, symbolizing the Soviet Union's commitment to tank innovation. With the introduction of the T-64 in the 1960s, Soviet tank design took a new direction, leading to the concept of the main battle tank, MBT, which combined the best features of medium and heavy tanks. The T-64 was highly innovative, featuring composite armor and an autoloader system to reduce the crew size. Though it started as a medium tank, the T-64 is seen as the bridge to a new era in tank design, marking the end of the traditional medium tank category in favor of more versatile MBTs. The development of Russian medium tanks paved the way for future designs and demonstrated the strategic importance of armored mobility, durability, and mass production. The T-34's legacy endures, influencing tank designs globally, while the T-55 and T-62 became symbols of Soviet influence across continents. Even today, Russian tank designs echo the foundational concepts of these historic models, emphasizing adaptability, ruggedness, and firepower. Medium tanks may have evolved into modern MBTs, but the principles of Soviet medium tank development are still apparent in Russia's current armored strategy. Russian medium tanks have a fascinating history of adapting to and often leading changes in armored warfare. From the humble T-28 to the iconic T-34 and beyond, these tanks represent innovation driven by necessity and battlefield demands. They weren't just machines of war. They were embodiments of Soviet resilience and ingenuity, leaving an indelible mark on military history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the evolution of Russian medium tanks, make sure to like, subscribe, and share.